Hi, I'm Re-Rides. Welcome to episode 11 of What's in the Box. Episode 11, box number 10 this week. It has 3 frame sets in it. Let's open it up and have a look. Okay, so the first frame set out of box number 10 is my Harrow 2004 F3. Now, I purely bought this frame set to recreate the decals. Got all the decals on it. As usual, through the early 2000s, Harrow pretty much rebadged and renamed a lot of the frames that had been around for a couple of years. This one has been a Revo in the past, this particular shape. This particular frame takes 14mm axles, both front and rear. Takes U-brakes both on the rear chainstays and on the fork. It has a fairly low profile, so the seat tube height is quite low. Obviously 1 1/8 head tube with 1 1/8 threadless fork. I did buy this as just a frame set, though I have been collecting a few parts to recreate this one. So in 2004 there was the F2, F3 and F4. This F3 is a 4130 seat tube only. The fork is also high 10. Alright, well that's it for the 2004 Harrow F3. I'll grab the next frame set. Frame set number 2 in box number 10 is my Redline RL440. This is the 1995 model. It's kind of got black brush strokes through it. The 440 is the full chromoly race bike from Redline with the slightly longer seat tube than the 340. I've also got the fork, original fork with this frame, also chromo. It's the tapered leg, a V-brake. It has 2 brake cable bosses on the top tube. This is a pretty light frame. The top tube length on the RL440 is 20.5 inches. So for 95, it's still a fairly simple frame. Almost kind of has the old school kind of tubing. It is a little bit fatter than the sort of earlier 90s and into the 80s, but it's still not into the size that a lot of bikes got to in their tubing by the late 90s. So a pretty neat little frame. The color is pretty good. I think this is probably, other than the chrome, it's probably the nicer one to have. I'll soon have the decals for this all done and up on shop.re-rides.com. So if you've got a 95 RL 440 or 340, you'll be able to grab the decals from there. Okay, so that's frame number 2. I'll grab frame number 3. Okay, so frame number 3 in box number 10 is this 1999 Harrow Group 1 RI. This one's in pretty poor condition really. Has a lot of surface rust on the chrome. I think most of it should come out with a bath. I will do a video on bathing this one over the next couple of weeks. So the 99 is pretty distinctive, especially if you've got decals on it. The 99 set is the set with the flag on the down tube. This particular model, the RI, is the high 10 version. It's not the chromo version, it's all 100% high 10. The tubing is pretty chunky compared to a lot of the earlier Group 1s, but still a great frame and a classic frame at that. So I think the 99 model was the last of the Harrow Group 1s. V-brakes on the rear, probably didn't have a brake on the front, though the only thing you could put on that would be a caliper. Has a very distinctive Harrow cut gusset at the chainstays, obviously the V-shaped top tube and the very distinctive Harrow dropouts. This particular frame has quite a few issues. The head stem at some point on this frame wasn't tightened up, so it's come loose and it's been ridden for quite some time with the headset wobbling. That has caused flaring on the head tube and some really bad wear on the crown don't know, I haven't tried to fit a headset to this yet, but it has been worn sort of at an angle, which is not great, but you know, it could be fixed. I have fixed flaring. I haven't fixed crown race problems like that, but basically flaring is where the shape of the head tube has been flared out. So when the cup goes in, it's going to wobble backwards and forwards because that's what the fork was doing inside that head tube. So it's worn and pushed the head tube over time and caused it to flare out. You can see this really dramatically on the top of the head tube on this bike. Other than that issue, it's a pretty good frame. I reckon I could probably fix that up, or at least get it to a point where it's still usable. All of this surface rust I think will come off, or at least the majority of it. It will still have a little bit of pitting in the chrome, which will be, you know, a bit of peppering. But with the new set of decals and the chrome cleaned up, I think this frame set will end up looking a lot better than it does now, that's for sure. So these have the model and the serial number stamped underneath. So it starts with RI, then we have an L931392. After the L, the 9 is the year that it was made, and the next number is the month. So it would be a March 99 made frame. But that's just a little bit of help to kind of figure out serial numbers. All right, so that's box number 10. In the next episode, we'll be opening up box number 11. For all my BMX decals, you can purchase on shop.rerides.com. You can also grab yourself one of these DMC hats. I will put a link into the comments below. So I hope you're liking this series. If you are, please subscribe and also give us a like on this video, and watch all the others if you want, and like all of those too. Really appreciate your time. Thanks very much. See you later.